What's going on, brother? How you doing, sir? Gavin, Attorney Gavin.
Oh, how
How
you
you
doing,
doing?
brother? Doing all right, man. Just a little worn out, but I'll be fine. I'm doing better than a lot of people, and I'm not better off than some. So I'm right in the middle, so I belong.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I just realized you clicked on. I was sending you a story. I just looked at Ti and Tiny were accused of sex trafficking. So
Uh, you know what? I saw a video. Or it's funny you mentioned that because I saw a thumbnail for a video on YouTube about Ti and Tiny. I didn't look at it to see exactly what it was about, but I guess this might have been it. I can't comment on it because I don't know too much about what's going on.
yeah, well, I was reading through it, but it's mighty funny because it was a tournament I used to go to in Charlotte called the CIAA almost every year, and they just that was a HBCU basketball tournament. But one of the girls saying that it happened down there, and that's not surprising with all the chicanery that goes on down there during that weekend. So that's not surprising if it did happen down there. I don't see way worse. I mean, you can do that with a regular person. So
That's in Atlanta.
no, that's in Charlotte.
You said Okay, Charlotte.
Yeah, North Carolina. Yeah.
Well, I only mention that because I know Ti is from Atlanta and they live in Atlanta. And I remember when that whole situation with old boy that was killed out in Atlanta. The one that was shot by the cops. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Uh,
Um, Rashad Brooks.
Rashad Brooks. That's it. Yeah, remember when he said, "This Wakanda." He called Atlanta Wakanda.
Yeah. That's what he said.
Yeah, he says it's Wakanda, but no, it ain't Wakanda. It's not Wakanda.
Well, it's him and Tiny that's been accused. But
Right.
the ecstasy and all that. I was just looking at the story, but I mean, hey, look, you know one thing about these rappers, and I will say this: they actually talk about the ecstasy and all that stuff in their songs, so it's not surprising that one of the girls said that she got hung up on ecstasy.
Yeah.
That's like, you know what? That's like going on Vlad TV and telling Vlad everything you're doing. You might well say that shit to a
Yeah.
rap song.
That's
You see
I
that?
said that the other day.
But it's a couple of topics I wanted to bring you, Gavin. I know you got
Yeah.
long, but I, it's a story. I was good. I went to court this morning for a little accident, and when I was going to court, I was just looking on my phone. And I said, "Dang, look at this white boy for Seattle Seahawks. They cutting him. Oh, he got a mental issue,
Yeah.
and ESPN don't want to bring it up, and people saying."
ESPN didn't bring it up, man. ESPN ain't shit.
Well, yeah, they real woke though.
And
They real,
didn't they do that stuff to now? Did they treat that the same way they treated Ray Rice?
Ray Rice, Adrian Peterson, all of them.
Ray Rice didn't even get back in the league after that shit. And what the thing about that Ray Rice situation, people forget like that whole thing. They were both charged and arrested for domestic violence charges because she spat on him before he did that to her, and she even hit him, and they were both drinking. And my understanding from what I heard was he was upset because she was spending all his money on a great gambling table. Now, it doesn't excuse what he did, because I certainly wouldn't have hit my girl and left her like that and just picked her up and threw her out of the elevator. But they uh, they all knew, the NFL knew that he had hit her because he told her, yeah, I did. He told the commissioner, yes, this is what happened. Yeah, I hit her and so forth. There was nothing to hide about it. And when he went to the commissioner's office, to Goodell's office, his wife accompanied him. And that's another thing. She forgave him for that. They leave that part out. And Godell decided, based off what the wife had said and the fact that Ray Rice was truthful, he would just suspend him for 2 games. But what happened? Punk ass TMZ gets the video, they leak it out, and then ESPN talks about it. and all hell breaks loose. And so you had the cancel culture. I guess you could call it the early beginnings of the cancel culture. And Me Too. They said, he needs to be gone for the rest of the year, and they cut him from the team.
Let's say something about Me Too right quick. Come to think about it.
But this situation with that white boy, yeah, that doesn't
Where Me
surprise
Too
me
at?
that they do
Where
that,
Me Too at?
huh?
Where Me Too at now?
Me Too is dead in the water because Joe Biden is in the White House.
well,
But
well,
go ahead,
I,
talk about Me Too.
well, well. I'm just saying, and I was looking at the young sister Lauren today. She was saying she wanted the story to stay within us. She don't want to get to mainstream media because then they're gonna start yelling protect black women. And Me Too hasn't done anything over the years, so don't try to start now because you've been quiet for a long time. Me Too only is used to attack black men and Republican candidates, and that's about it.
Yeah, well, the Me Too movement is only there to attack the black males, but also just heterosexual males in general, but in particular, they single out black men. We know that, yes, they will accuse white men of it as well, but their penalties that they suffer, the repercussions are much more different. Now, people say, well, Harvey Weinstein got it worse. Harvey Weinstein's case, too, he even got screwed over with some stuff because I listened to the testimony of what they were accused, from what they were saying. And that one woman that testified, Annabella Sciorra, I believe she's the actress. Her testimony was terrible. That's why he got acquitted on a couple of those charges. The most serious of the charges he was actually acquitted on. So he's got great grounds for appeal. I just saw too that they approved a settlement where all women had to drop their lawsuits and they had to get like a multi $15 million settlement. Again, I'm paraphrasing. I think that's the amount with Harvey Weinstein's case. So all this stuff, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was seemed like a big money hustle. When I look at Me Too, I'm not saying that there aren't some legitimate cases that are out there, but when you wait 15, 20 years, 30, 40 years to accuse somebody when it's outside the statute of limitations and you hire Gloria Allred. And let's not forget, Lisa Bloom represented Harvey Weinstein when it first started. Lisa Bloom is Gloria Allred's daughter. So when you look at Gloria Allred, the only time she goes after any man for anything dealing with women, it's always a black man. And you've heard judges' position on it. She's there basically as an ambulance chaser. She's a extortionist. I mean, there has not. I don't think there's been a black man that she didn't try to extort money from. Mike Tyson, when he got accused for rape the second time, she was on that case. Chris Brown, she was on this thing that Usher, where that big ass woman was accusing Usher of giving her herpes or something like that. She didn't get herpes. She got Hershey's. Lying. Even the press that was there couldn't even believe that shit. You remember that? That was
Yeah.
about 3, 4 years ago. Nobody believed that. Fuck out of here.
Well, it's mighty funny that this came up because, and I was just waiting to see. But right now, a lot of things going on. I'm just saying now, this was a black woman that got beat by this white guy. And I'm just
Yeah.
sitting there saying, how are they going to play this story? Crickets, crickets, crickets. They want to be quiet about it.
Well,
Or they're
yeah,
going to make it a mental issue. My fault, a mental
they
issue.
made it. Well, they have. They're bringing it to mental issue. Did you see what the Seattle Seahawks put out on their Twitter account when they said they were wavering this fool?
Mental health.
They said that they hope he get the help that he needed.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right. Encourage
Yeah.
him to get. You might want to pull it up. This is the article on Yahoo News. I'll share it with you. I'm gonna send it through. I'm gonna send it to you right now. You could take a look at it if you want to share it on the screen so people can look at this. But I'm reading the actual Twitter statement from the Seahawks. I'm gonna read it for everybody out loud. If I can go some of it. Says here the Seahawks are saddened by the details emerging against Chad Wheeler and strongly condemn this act of domestic violence. Our thoughts and support are with the victim. Chad is a free agent and no longer with the team. If you are experiencing domestic violence, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline or go to thehotline.org. All calls are toll free and confidential. The hotline is available 24/7 in more than 170 languages. Last paragraph. We encourage Chad to get the help he needs. If you are experiencing mental health issues, please reach out for help. For immediate help with a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. When did this become a national a suicide watch campaign? When did domestic violence become a suicide watch campaign? How did we get from here, Seattle? Seattle Seahawks, what are you doing? Where was this stuff? Where was this stuff when Ray Rice was accused of doing what he did? We saw. Did we say this was a mental health issue? Ray needed help. Let's look out for him. Nothing like that, Bernard. Nothing like that. But remember when they protected Big Ben?
Yeah.
I mean, Ben Roethlisberger had 2 rape charges.
Well,
He
I'm
got
gonna.
suspended from the. I mean, he got suspended for like 6 games, but that wasn't for. He wasn't put out the league. He wasn't cut. Now, granted, he was never convicted in court or anything like that. And I mean, the thing with Ray Rice too is that he did a pretrial intervention. And there's another thing. You guys need to stop listening to dumbasses like Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, all these other fools who think they know the law. Skip Bayless as well. He's not even a great. I've watched him on Skip and Shannon, but he's a hater, especially with LeBron James. He's a big time hater, and these guys, they don't know the law. So when they get up there and talk about, like Stephen A. Smith said, he would wipe the floor with Johnny Cochran. Like I would beat the great Johnny if he in the O.J. Simpson case, like O.J. was guilty. He'd have got his ass whipped. Johnny Cochran, that case had so many flaws in it. It wasn't even funny. They could have acquitted O.J. Instantly, just based off of the planting of evidence was enough. The fact that just based off the fact that Mark Furman perjured himself was enough. There's a credibility issue. It wasn't a race card issue. It's a credibility issue. That's what Johnny Cochran even said after the trial. Why'd you play the race card? He said, I didn't play the race card. I played the credibility card.
That's right.
So, yeah. So, this is staying from fucking Stephen A. Smith. Remember, they cut his balls off when he even stood up and said women have to be careful with regards to how they talk to men.
Yeah.
Remember that? And ESPN suspended him for 2 weeks. First and foremost, that girl Michelle Beadle, who was on the ESPN too, she came and clapped back at Stephen A. But what she did was against company policy because they're not allowed, according to ESPN's policy, social media policy, to speak down on another employee. But they didn't punish her. Who did they punish?
Stephen
They
A.
punished Stephen A. And I understood what Stephen A. Smith was saying because as an attorney and someone who has studied law, I know what goes on with regards to these domestic violence cases. A lot of them are started by women, according to the statistics. I'm not saying that it gives men a right to strike back, but as the old saying goes, equal rights includes equal lefts sometimes. And but there are some women who I know of that have attacked men with knives, with glasses, and Honestly, if in that type of situation, I'm not saying it's okay to beat up a woman. Don't misquote me. But if I was being attacked with a weapon or some sorts, and walking away wasn't enough, and she kept pushing me, and then she attacked me with a weapon, yeah, I probably would haul off in here.
Yeah, I understand, man. I mean, it just
I mean, with a if you talk about somebody with a woman with a weapon, yeah. Or if you're talking about if you did something to my children, yeah. Because as a parent, I would go off. I thought that dad in that hotel with that woman, he was within his rights to beat the crap out of that witch. The Soho Karen,
Soho Karen. Everybody talks about Soho Karen.
yeah, I'd have slapped the taste out of her mouth. She touched my child like that.
Well, let me just close that part with this. I just wanted to when I heard about this, I knew that ESPN, it got to be an agenda. It got to be some woke type stuff for them to even really talk about. That's how I knew they were gonna try to
They
damn.
never
They
talked.
didn't.
Did they talk? Did they? They never talked about it on ESPN.
Not from my hearing. They talked about it cutting, but they didn't really show this woman. I don't think.
No, I've seen and I saw the photographs. It really could be. He really could have been charged, and you saw the charges that he was faced with. Those were damn near misdemeanors. There's no, you know, he could have been charged with attempted murder.
Hey man, they need to shut the Super Bowl down, man, or say we ain't gonna play the game unless this guy gets some time, man. But it is what it is.
Well, it is what it is, but and I'll let again, and I'll say this even as an attorney, I know that you're innocent until proven guilty. He may assert his bipolar disorder as a defense, which is likely why they are putting this out on ESPN and so forth. They're staying on cold trying to protect him. I don't know the legal ramifications of it, but without question, a black man in that situation is not going to get the same treatment that the media is giving him.
Okay, now let me see what else I can say. Oh yeah, so last week and a half we've been in a dog and pony show or dog and phony show. It's been a wild, it's been a wild ride lately, man. Look, a little bit wild though. Lot of twists and turns and detours. So I was talking to a guy, and he said, "Man, he said that something. I don't like this Harriet Tubman $20 bill thing." I said, "Well, brother, that's all part of the dog and pony show.
Mm-hmm.
Symbolism, no substance." And I said, "You got
That's your reparations.
Black History Month coming up with a whole lot of virtue signaling for Black History Month. I'm almost willing to guarantee what they're gonna be putting out there for Black History Month."
Well, what you're getting from this Obama with this, I guess you could call it the Obama administration. This is Obama 3.0, but this is even worse than Obama. The way it's looking at is that Biden is cutting. I mean, look, he stopped the Keystone Pipeline, which cuts off thousands of jobs. Here in Louisiana, he stopped the oil and gas production, which is causing a problem. All those contracts and so forth and distributions, they've had to stop because he put a stop to it. He put a moratorium on this stuff for climate change and so forth. Then you top it off with this transgender uh, order, these transgender and sexual orientation, gender identity EOs that he has signed into law, reversing everything that Trump had did. Remember, Trump reversed Barack Obama's orders on this. And so now Biden has reversed all of that. And, what you're going to be getting, and I say all of that is that we're going to be pushed further into a permanent underclass. And there are a lot of Negroes out there who support Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. But like you even said, the United States dollar right now is not even worth a penny.
It's
And
not.
that's because, and in part, that is because the People's Republic of China holds interest in it. We borrowed so much from China, especially back in the 70s when Nixon took the United States off the gold standard. And before that, remember when John F. Kennedy was president, he tried to get the dollar back with silver,
That's
backed
right.
by silver. We don't have anything like that. And so, what's eventually going to happen, the dollar will fall out, and your Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill is not going to even be worth anything. This is reparations for you Negroes. This is something. This is stuff he's given to Clyburn and Maxine Waters and all these other Negroes that just voted for him blindly without questioning him about what he was going to do. This is what you're going to get. Meanwhile, more tangibles, more power to illegal immigrants and LGBTQ, because I mean he says it's a human right. I saw his tweet earlier, and that's what we're going to be getting for the next 4 years, either with him either with him or Harris. Now, if he's bad, just think of Kamala Harris being president.
Well, I'm gonna well, I will say this on one good, I guess is I wouldn't say it's good or bad. I'm gonna say, hey, look, when I was reading to Dawson last night, she's in the chat. I was telling her that the USA is actually bankrupt because they owe all that money to China. So, and actually, they're actually with the Harriet Tubman bill. It's like too late anyway because they actually been talking about trying to go to digital currency, everything with a card or so forth. So,
Yeah, everybody's using cards now. Everybody's using their phone. Hell, forget a card. People are using their phones.
yeah, so it's kind of like you gave her that dollar with an obsolete dollar. I mean, it might be like a you know just a just a damn. It's like a showpiece, man. That's what I look at, like a showpiece.
Well, well, like I said, it's basically a hustle on black people.
Now we got to go to this thing, and you were talking about the women are saying that you are erasing women's sports and stuff like that. I said, look, baby, for the LGBTQ agenda. They're gonna have a man that can't. They got a man running that I could beat in the race, but he gonna be number one in your race. But I beat him. I beat him around the block 3 times.
Well, well, yeah. Well, I mean, they already had the MMA fighter, Fox, who was transgender and broke that woman's eye socket a few years ago in the MMA fight. They've had these men. I'm just calling it. These were men who are, well, these boys that are transitioning to girls that have won every track meet that they've been in because naturally they are faster and stronger than these females. You also had a female uh, who is taking steroids and competing in one in the girls wrestling high school wrestling team and wins every match that she's had as in high school, her high school wrestling team. So this is all that you're going to keep getting over and over again. This is the result of you all just voting blindly and saying, I don't want Trump. I don't want Trump, instead of either abstaining your vote or voting third party or even voting for Trump. Because I knew from looking at this, if we're talking about the lesser of two evils, despite his rhetoric and no, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, he was not pushing this stuff. And you're going to have a situation, as Bishop was even talking about on his show, where if you have boys who want to be girls participating in physical, let's say like a wrestling match, for instance, you have them in that. The girls can't compete. What's to stop them from taking steroids? To say, you know what, let me take steroids. I'm going to compete with him so they could get an edge as well. And that's also the fallacy in our thinking and our progression, because adults in professional sports, men, cannot take PEDs. They cannot PEDs. They cannot take performance enhancing drugs. Steroids is forbidden. So how do we, in one breath, tell the adults who are supposed to know better than the children that you can't take these drugs, but you're doing it for kids in high school?
Um, Now I want to say something to you because
Does
This
that make sense?
no, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring something to you that I just thought about, and now Facebook today they're saying that they're going to check posts with political
I saw that.
thing. So
Political
just like a couple
content.
months ago, they wouldn't let you question the election. Now guess what? Down here in Virginia, they just said that any ballots that was postmarked after the date that's illegal, which I already knew, which they were doing in Georgia and
Right.
everywhere. Now they're saying we need to use voter ID and voter registration. We shouldn't use mail-in ballots. Yeah, but you just basically stole an election doing this nonsense. So you want to go back to being right now? Oh hell no. But they don't want you to even talk about the election on Facebook. They don't want to talk about anything that they say could be politically um adverse to them. So that's like a totalitarian thing. And I said, who the hell gave these big tech companies so much power? Now watch this. Let's go with another thing. You seen about this thing with GameStop, right?
Yeah.
You see what Robinhood did,
Robinhood.
right?
Yeah, they stopped all of their people who trade on Robinhood. They stopped the trading of GameStop, shut it down. But now they got hit with a multi-million-dollar lawsuit.
That's right. So the same thing Facebook did, trying to cover for them. Robinhood, Wall Street was trying to do the same thing. These people are trying to create monopolies where to drown out competition of anybody else. That's what they're doing. And they're getting caught. I don't even care what happened to Wall Street. I'm glad that somebody daggone took it to the ass.
Yeah, I mean, and that GameStop stock that people were buying, eventually it may. I've been looking at it because it's happening so fast right now. Eventually it's gonna fall out. Talking about buying $300 for a share for a GameStop and so forth, $200 and so forth. It's I thought about getting in it quick, but people, as soon as the price goes up for that, then you're gonna want to sell eventually. So, but you know why that stock has gone up at this point is that we got a lot of people that are at home. So people who are at home with game systems, those are things you can buy, going to GameStop and so forth. I enjoy. I mean, I played video. I'm a gamer myself, so I enjoy that as well. But it's even better when you can make money from it, you know, in stock.
Well,
But yeah, but
I just look at how they tried to get in the way, just like they got in the way of sensitive information. Now they trying to censor you from trading because they say, "Oh no, we don't want you to hurt the big boys now." So it's censorship on all fronts.
it's censorship. It's fast. It's really the incoming of fascism. People don't realize it. You celebrate Donald Trump being taken off of all of the social media apps, but we said before, it's not about Donald Trump. This is about what's happening to all of us. This is about America. And if they do it to Donald Trump, to the white man, what do you think they're going to do to the Negro like you?
Well, that's just like what you happened with you with Farrakhan with the strike on YouTube.
Yeah, well, I got strike for the sign that being suspended on Twitter for going back and forth with a white supremacist, a suspected white supremacist, playing the dozens on them. I mean, but in the meantime, on Twitter, you can show full out pornography, and in fact, Twitter got sued, and it came out that they had child pornography on there, and they said the reason they didn't take it down was because it didn't violate their terms and agreements. It's fucking illegal. Your
Hey,
terms
look,
and policies, it's illegal. It's against the law. The law trumps everything.
yeah, man, it is amazing that they didn't take that down, man. That's like, wow. But hey, man, I'm just gonna say this: when it comes to stuff like that, man, I mean, they need to be getting hit more than that. Now, what I was gonna tell you that also we do got another thing, and as I said, I meant to tell you, I don't know about Louisiana, but I do see that some states are talking about probably secession. So they probably gonna leave the U.S. and Washington D.C. and they're gonna become their own states. Look like a civil war could be brewing. A lot of people not
Well,
down for
it's
this.
already here. I mean, it's already here, Bernard.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just talking about going a little bit deeper. As far as secession, I don't want to be part of the United U.S. and all that. So, but
Well, we're already we're about to head. It looks like we're likely to head into civil war, but I think we're going to go even further. We're being pushed further into the new world order, uh, especially when I look at this presidency. You know, the stuff that Biden is doing is essentially he's making the United States a more socialist country.
well,
Talking
yeah,
about open. You talk about open borders. Every nation has uh, has laws to protect its sovereignty. Every nation has laws on immigration, and traditionally they put its citizens first. How come the United States doesn't do that? And you're the richest and most powerful country in the world. I'm not saying that they can't be people that can come over here, but you make that your top priority to have an influx of 11 million illegal immigrants, meaning that they broke the law to get here, that they're not going through the proper channels. You bypass the Congress. You put these executive orders in place so that they could be part of the census, and that's going to drown us.
yeah, that's definitely right there.
But you see that you and I are talking about something like that because that's important. But all of these other Negroes who just voted blindly or don't even think about it, see, we can't afford to be lazy.
That's right.
We can't afford to be ignorant. You have plenty of potential right now and means to look at any type of news that you want, to go and research stuff. But you just want to vote blindly because you letting CNN and Fox News and uh, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox control your emotions. This stuff, look at this stuff with Cosby. Nobody even did their homework and saw that most of those accusers got caught in lies. That, like, when it came out about the Supreme Court decision, the appeal hearing, the decision wasn't made yet. A lot of people who thought he was guilty, some of them will even say, you know what, he needs to get out of there. Jesse Jackson is just finally speaking up on it. Where was Jesse 2 or 3 years ago before Cosby got sentenced? Where was he back in 2014, 2015 when this stuff started? And that's his frat brother? I know he was sick and all, but damn, he could have said something. Sharpton didn't say nothing.
Hey, you know what?
NAACP didn't say anything.
Speaking of Shopton, Shopton, TD Jakes, Tyler Perry, all of them, the only thing they talk about now is vaccine awareness. TD Jakes asked out there in the Fauci, can we use the church?
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's all they talk about right now is vaccine awareness.
I saw Tyler Perry taking a vaccine. I saw Maxine Waters taking it.
Yeah, they
I'm not Maxine Waters, excuse me. Kamala Harris took it on CNN.
yeah. Well, they just going overboard with it. But I'm just yeah, Tyler Perry got a BET special.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm just looking at the way things are going, and that's why I sent you an article yesterday. Mass bullet shortage, ammo shortage, gun shortage, you name it. Everything's short. Next thing is gonna be a food shortage too. A lot of stuff going down, man.
yeah. A lot of stuff is going down. Stock up on ammo, stock up on food and water supplies, particular canned goods, if you can. If you
Yeah.
can grow your own food, that's even better.
Well, I was looking at also guests I don't know how many got in the chat, but also this man right here, Gavin Richard, attorney Gavin, has a he's probably still working on Spice Company. We're gonna see how it's going, but he's still working on it. So make
We're
sure you get
working
the
on
Spice.
that. I'm about to Still working on that. I'm about to release some music this month
Um,
as well.
y- but yeah, so I just wanted to say one a couple other things like. So when you see all this thing, that's why I said. And then I told you I was talking to Dawson earlier, in Texas. I was just telling her Tyler Perry dad gonna taking a vaccination does not influence me because I said Tyler Perry can't talk to me because I ain't gonna sit there and watch Tyler Perry movies because I ain't watching no man in drag. So you know, but I said that really to tell you the truth, a lot of these people going overboard and they. But I did, and I talked to Kulik, and we did say that we need to get rid of some collateral damage or crash dummies, as I would call them, crash dummies, collateral damage. Let them fools be. Because now you get to see everything. You get to see who trying to play you, who not, who talking the nonsense. Um, you got what's this guy name? Even Clyburn, you get to see through his foolishness. Wait a minute, Mr. Biden, you didn't put enough of us in your cabinet. That's in the high epsilon positions. That's not what you asked. You just said give
Right.
us.
He doesn't. You know, he does. Once he gets in office, he doesn't owe you anything.
Hey man, Ice Cube still left outside on the back of the street, ain't it, man?
Say what?
Ice Cube still waiting for the answer.
Yeah, they haven't responded to him.
Hey, look, man, Gavin, it's like a business transaction. When you when somebody calls you for you to represent them, you say, yeah, and you have to break down the price. People must start looking at voting as a transaction, man. The the transaction of goods and services, and what are you going to do for me? That's how they need to start looking at it. Because this thing getting real funny now. I'm just looking at this thing, but I will say that they boarding the White House up like Fort Knox now. So obviously they know they didn't win, and there's a lot of people mad. They guess they don't want nobody storming the White House. That's how I look at it. Look like martial law type state.
Well, you know what, man? We got to be very careful about, like I say again, what's going on in this country. I think that a lot of people, like you said, civil war is about to start. And so people better be careful what they're seeing. I mean, they still got people on the Capitol today. I think that they arrested uh, being out there. If I'm not mistaken, CNN was talking about it because Cuomo was on discussing it. So there's certainly some stuff that's headed this way, and people ought to be mindful because it's only going to get worse in these next 4 years. Remember, Biden himself said we got to prepare for the dark winter.
We gotta well, look. I'm expecting now. I don't know. I gotta go check my source and find out what happened in Atlanta today. They had a nitrogen leak. 6 people died. I think 9 injured. I gotta go look more into that. But we gotta. I'm just telling you right now, everybody in chat, be wary of all false flags. What you saw on the Capitol was not no insurrection. It was a false flag to start censorship and more stuff. Do not be surprised whether it's real or fake or the next mass shooting, because that's gonna be the test run right there. Got to watch how they trying to play this thing.
Yeah.
That's so. But yeah. Sorry, man, about you. You say you had a medical procedure today.
Yeah, I had a little procedure on my back, but I'm fine.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, man. I know that the back stuff is tough. But yeah, like I said, I wouldn't go real hold you that long night. I just wanted to get a couple of things out to you. Oh, we wanted to tell Sister Tyson
Well, what
died.
else you want to talk about? Yeah, I saw that 94, 96 years old. She lived a great life. I don't think she had any children, if I'm not mistaken, huh? She had
I,
no
I
kids.
didn't hear about any children. No, I didn't hear about any of that.
Yeah, well, you know, she was married to Miles Davis for some time, for a couple years. But like in the 80s, I think, and then they divorced. But yeah, she was a model. That's how she started in her career, and her breakout movie that she got nominated for an Academy Award was a movie called Sounder in the '70s. Now I don't remember. I mean, I was born in the '80s, so I don't remember all of that. But my favorite Cicely Tyson movie was actually Bustling Loose with Richard Pryor that she did. And she had another one called Mama Flores Family, which was based off of an Alex Haley book, uh, one of his last books that he did. So I, like most people, I feel saddened by her passing, but she lived a great life at 96 years old. Man, isn't it interesting? She died today, but yesterday too, Cloris Leachman died at 94 years old. Cloris Leachman is the lady that was in all of Mel Brooks movies, like not Blazing Saddles, but Young Frankenstein and History of the World Part One, High Anxiety, a couple of those films. So she was funny to watch. I enjoyed her comedy. She was 94, and they buried Hank Aaron yesterday too. So it's like death always comes in like twos and threes, or death comes in threes. You know, uh, it's a sad day, but may she rest in peace. God bless her. She's in. I look at it and she's in another world, far better
Well,
off than what we had.
well, I'm just looking at, when I saw that, who else died? Her, Hank Aaron, Larry King.
Larry
Uh,
King died, yeah, over the weekend.
so we gotta look at we got to look study more into
Hank Aaron.
yeah, something up with that. But we will find out a lot of things. Like I said, hey guess it's only gonna get more interesting from here on out. So daggone, don't let your guard down. Keep the popcorn going, baby, because a lot of stuff that could be coming. And I don't think a lot of people that can be ready for a lot of this stuff because this stuff is getting. Well, also I did send you a thing during the COVID crisis. They also have been engineering the spread of more robots into factories like McDonald's, I think in Arizona has robots, so people better be careful because this artificial intelligence here, and it's coming to take away a lot of jobs and stuff like that. So people need to be careful of that. They also had robots talking at the UN. Um,
Yeah, well, at Walgreens out here in Slidell, Walmart in Slidell, I said Walgreens, excuse me. Walmart, they have full. Someone had posted that they do full self checkout. There are no cashiers, if I'm not mistaken. So we're in that. We're at that phase where jobs are going to be eliminated. This is going to be like the Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger in the '80s. Remember that? Where they
yeah,
were, yeah, where we're going to be living on the outskirts and, they'll be betting on who can survive the Running Man series, people fighting over food and water. That's seems to be the way that this is happening in the United States as of right now, because our politicians and leaders, supposedly leaders, I use that term loosely, are continuously to push, are continuously trying to push a an agenda that is uh, not in alignment with the principles of the founding fathers of the United States, and especially the Constitution. Despite what has happened to us in this country, Black Americans, when I read the Constitution, it's actually not a bad document. The things that uh, the things that are in there, the articles and amendments that are in those provisions, how they apply to the problem, and what they were originally, of course, with the exception of the three-fifths compromise, it's actually a pretty good document. But we got to be mindful now, because you can only talk about, well, I'm going to get up and go move somewhere else. Well, moving somewhere else isn't going to stop it from coming to you. I
you're right
did.
about that.
Yeah, and I do want to mention something too about the Me Too movement. That thing with Asia Argento accused Rob Cohen of trying to, of sexual assault or misconduct. Asia Argento is the Italian actress that had actually, and I guess she confessed, it was proven she had committed statutory rape with a teenage boy.
Yep.
Yeah, Rob Cohen is the director of the Fast and Furious franchise, and when she met, I believe was around the time he was doing one of his earlier movies. Uh, I know he does Fast and Furious, but I think some of the earlier stuff he had was Triple X, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Because that's how he and Vin Diesel, I believe, met. So I don't know if I believe any of most of this shit. I'm just sitting here and I'm just looking at it. We got to be careful about what we believe, but she's writing the book too.
I sent you one other thing, and it was about this. What the hell is this? Oh, there's a thing in I think another country. I forgot the country. That I probably didn't even click on this article. Oh, yeah, they want you to have what they call consent. They want to have it's a new app that gives men 24-hour consent contract to have sex after Denmark passed controversial rape law. So I guess you I guess
Say
you
what?
gotta.
They got a consent form.
Oh, it's a new app. It's called I Consent that gives men 24-hour consent contract to have sex after Denmark passed a controversial rape law. You got to read it, look at it, but
I have to read it, but I mean that doesn't surprise me. Look, we're in a gynocentric country, and uh, right now, everything that was, our parents and grandparents and great grandparents had, where they understood everything, and they didn't even have the technology that we have now. They knew what was more to be human and handle adversity than some of us do today. This is bullshit.
well, let me say something. It's BS, but one thing about it, they say only the strong survive, and some people can get out of it, and some people gonna be crazy as hell trying to get out of it. So that's how I look at it, Gavin. But yeah, we gotta, keep in touch. We gotta support Gavin Rashad. So send out your contact information or your
Yeah. My
yeah.
YouTube channel is Gbluetooth786, and my Cash App is Gavin Richard Esquire, what you see in the name tag right there. So,
And
support me.
are you still on Twitter or they knocked you off with?
I am still on Twitter, GavMRich2786. You can find me there as well, but I may be looking at joining some other places.
Yeah, because they've been getting real authoritarian lately.
Most definitely.
Well, Gavin, like I said, I wasn't gonna hold you too long tonight. Got things got to do before I hit the sheets.
Yeah.
But I do want you to have a good night. Keep on working at Spice Company, and he's always. If you want to talk to him, he's always on the Judge Joe Brown show on Fridays. He brings great content.
Yeah, shout out to Valerie Denise Jones, the producer of the Judge Joe Brown Show, and people tune in on her YouTube because she'll post the audio from the interviews that we do with Judge Joe Brown, the commentary. It's always appreciated. And, listening to Bernard bring his 2 cents on, and Bishop, and Lauren and a few others. And shout out to Dr. Carmen Johnson and to
Um,
Miss Dawson. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, let me say something right quick, Gavin, before we close out, because it was
sure.
a it was a while back, probably about 6 months ago. I had a woman. She asked me, "You don't interview any females? Hey, how you doing, Mr. Edwards?" Um, and I said, "Yeah, I will do that, but I got to make sure the type of females I'm I'm interviewing, because sorry, we can't have any. we gotta be on the same page, and they are on, the same page. They get it. but there's so many of them that don't. That's why I said, if too far gone, it ain't too much I can do. That's why I said that we have to know the type of people that you involved on this thing. That's why I said some people can't handle it, but Carmen and Dawson, they get it. They give me good insight. They have good advice. They have great points. Dawson's right there in Texas besides you. She's got an organization. Dr. Carmen, she does court watch. She
Up
does
in DC. Yeah.
yeah. She's in DC. So there's always people to connect with in the universe is big and you can find people. So it's good to have women that are politically inclined. I'm not saying that you don't have women that go to church and politically inclined, but as Dawson was telling me, that Tyler Perry's biggest audience are church women. And I guess you see where some of that has got us. What?
Tyler
Yeah.
Perry and church women.
Yeah, she said that Tyler Perry's. She might be still in the chat. I don't know, but she told me that Tyler Perry's the biggest people who watch his shows are church women.
Well, that's true because that's who he caters to. He caters to black females, especially of that median age group from, let's say, between the ages of 25 and 40. And even those that are, a few of those that are older, they're into all of that. That Meet the Brown stuff, where he's playing gospel music in the back, all of that foolishness. And, was it Tyler Perry's House of Pain and all of this other crap? Yeah. So, I mean, and look, I respect the man as a businessman. He came a long ways, but uh, his quality even of his movies are crap. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I mean, his movies that he had on Netflix that he signed that multi-million-dollar deal, people were tearing that up because for all the money he has, he couldn't afford no decent wigs for his actors. And I
Hey,
swear that
look,
nigga came with a Brillo pad on top of his head, man. I thought he had a team of spiders on it. Just
yeah,
saw
she
this shit.
said she said that yes, his biggest audience is church women and facts crappy movies. Let me say one other thing about that. Now, Gavin, me and you could make well, we're not a movie like his because that stuff is just we could make a movie and we wouldn't even get the credit because we straight. But Tyler Perry get the credit because he dressed up in drag. So I mean, it's not about talent anymore. It's how woke you are and how much of a woman as a man can you be. That's what it is about Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
So, but she said fall to grace with those cheap wigs. So she talking about fall to grace and all that. But thank you, Dawson, for pointing that out to me that his biggest item were church women. I don't know what that's about. I'm gonna have to start asking church women in the
He's from
community.
here, unfortunately. He's from New Orleans, I know. Well, I mean, how he started was with the plays. You remember?
Yeah,
His stage plays were very popular in the South, and eventually that's how he worked his way up to where he is now. Excuse me. I like, and when I was a teenager, when his plays were starting, we used to watch them. I loved watching it because it was entertaining. But then as I got older and I kept seeing the same stuff over and over again, Medea's Big Happy Family, Medea's Family Reunion, Medea goes to jail, Medea's goes to Mars, Medea needs a kidney, Medea gets a sex change. I mean, all of this shit, it was just too much. I mean, I got tired of it, but there are people that'll still watch it. It still makes a lot of money. He has a television series called Sisters, even though he's the only writer and he's a male. Wink, wink. Um, he has the Oval on BET. And he has that studio out there. One of his stages is named after Cicely Studios on, in his lot is named after Cicely Tyson.
yeah. Well, he
They were
also
close.
had he also had the Democratic National Convention there, or the Democratic debate there one time too. I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, I pretty much figured it out, but yeah, thank Dawson, yes, because he's running around in a dress. And Gavin also is a comedian, so if he was to compete against Tyler Perry by Hollywood standards would probably get more likes than him. Sorry to say, but and Gavin could be the most funny person in the room. But hey, man, when you woke, you go broke, but being woke these days actually has great advancement if you're in the LGBT community. But yeah, that's a topic for another time, Gavin. But yeah, you take your time, brother, and we'll keep on pushing.
All right, man, I love you. Thank you. Love your audience. Y'all take it
All right,
easy.
brother. You take your time.
All right, thank you.
I no doubt.